All right. Well. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 146 of Roundabout Sports, presented by Harsh Construction LLC and Interstate 70 Sports Media, where our passion is our profession. It is Wednesday, October 1st. Happy spooky season, everybody. Oh, I am so excited about that. I'm the Maestro, Jeremy Carp, alongside my dear friend and colleague, the one and only Austin Bradley, AB himself. AB, how we doing this week?
I am great, man. Last week, I almost died of strep throat, or at least I felt like I did. I did survive, unfortunately, for all of you guys that watch the show. I am back, and I'm ready to rock and roll.
We have a lot to talk about this week, but we're going to get our little customary things out of the way. Be sure to follow Interstate 70 Sports Media on Facebook, X, and on the official YouTube channel, Interstate 70 Sports Media. You can find all of our shows, such as the Blues Fan Forum podcast, Roundabout Sports. We're going to get Issues with Wrestling on there. We're going to get the main event on there, Elite Sports Show, Daily Roundup. We got a lot of work and good things in store. On top of that, you can find Roundabout Sports on Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Pocket Casts, Amazon Music, anywhere else you stream your podcast, you will find us there. Now, normally I save this segment for the middle of the show, but we have so much to discuss with Chaim Bloom's press conference and introduction as the new president of baseball operations for the Cardinals, news regarding Albert Pujols, the MLB playoffs. There is so much, AB, that I'm just going to get this out of the way. And it's going to be sad because, man, this is the last time I can do this until next baseball season. Folks, it is time for my favorite segment of our show. For the last time until next season, just how bad do the Colorado Rockies suck? Okay, folks. Well, obviously, they've sucked enough to where this is, yes, the last rendition of it for this season. The final record for the Colorado Rockies of 2025, 43-119. They tied the third highest number of losses in the modern era with the 03 Tigers. Also, this one's really funny. The Rockies' minus 424 run differential was the worst by any Major League Baseball team since the 1899 Cleveland Spiders. And yeah, they also became the first team since the 1999 Rockies to give up at least 1,000 runs to their opponents in a season. So while they avoided infamy as far as a record goes of wins and losses by 2, man, oh man, there are still a lot of things I can't believe they did this. This was rough. This was really rough, I tell you. But nevertheless, folks, I also have to mention how far back they were. They finished exactly 50 games behind the first place Los Angeles Dodgers and 40 games behind the Chicago Cubs in the NL wildcard race. And that, folks, is the final for this season rendition of just how bad do the Colorado Rockies suck.
Hey, give it up for the Rockies. Give it up for the Rockies.
Parting is such sweet sorrow. Also, if you are the admin for the Rockies Twitter page, man, freaking kudos to you for literally having not just the patience, but the positivity to get through that whole season.
Yeah.
Like, it takes a lot to do it in the way that they did.
And the sense of humor, too.
Yeah, exactly. No, you're absolutely right. So, with all that said, we're going to move on now straight into it, AB. The John Mozeliak era is over here in St. Louis.
Yep.
And the Chaim Bloom era has officially started. Fresh flowers are in the air. The leaves are falling because it is fall. Spooky season's here. Oh, but here's something interesting. Ollie is coming back. And that is the first thing we are going to talk about here, folks. Ollie Marmol is coming back. He's been confirmed that he will return as manager for the Cardinals next season. Okay. So this is the thing. Right now, he is skinning the teeth when it comes to how with his record. He's 325 and 323, so 502 winning percentage. He's really pushing it. 0-2 in the playoffs. Obviously, a last place finish and a fourth place finish this year. So here's the first question that we should discuss. Was this the right move?
Yes, it was. Actually, I do believe that it was. I like Oliver Marmol. I think Oliver Marmol is I think he's a good manager. I don't think he's a great manager, but whenever they brought him in after, I don't think they should have ever parted ways from Mike Schilt. Okay, I want to get that out the way first. But I do think he's done a good job for what he's had. It's not his fault, okay, that Nolan Arenado fell off a cliff. It's not his fault that whenever they did get to the playoffs in 2022, the most valuable player in the National League forgot how to hit a baseball. Okay. There are a lot of things that the manager cannot control. I think that, and I'm sure you're going to ask more and we'll expand on this. I think that the DeWitts and Mozeliak have such a stranglehold on the on-field side of this that it makes it difficult for Oliver Marmol to manage. Oliver Marmol is a good manager, okay? And I know that we're going to talk about Pujols going to the Angels and how everybody was up in arms that, oh my gosh, Albert Pujols is ready to manage and we're stuck with Oliver Marmol and all of this stuff, blah, 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 blah. And who cares? Listen, he's been there. He's won. He's won in seasons that he shouldn't have won. This season, whether people want to agree with me or disagree with me or not, whatever, they were supposed to be terrible. Have we lost sight of that? Whenever everybody's bashing them for getting swept by the Cubs in the last series of the season and finishing, I think they finished 6 games under 500. They were supposed to finish like 20 games under 500. Like, this season was so much better than anybody anticipated. And the idea that that's just kind of lost on everybody now and Oliver Marmol's the scapegoat, I don't agree with it. I like that Marmol's getting another year. Now, if we get to that, I don't know. It's tough. It's tough. I think that if you're going to rebuild, which is kind of what they're going with, without coming out and using that term, I think Marmol's the guy you rock with for now. I'm not saying necessarily in 10 years, but for now, I think Marmol's the guy you rock with.
So I want to bring this to the attention here, and this is directly from our very own Scott Plaza. He posted this on Interstate 70 Sports.media when he announced when Bloom announced that Ollie will be coming back. And I love this quote here that Scott said. He says, "What both sides can agree on, however, is that Marmol was given limited resources in terms of talent and money to put together a legitimate contender. Even with that agreement, though, the angry half of fans believe Marmol should have turned the team from the dumpster fire it became to a World Series winner while trotting out players like Michael Ciani and John King on a daily basis." And you know what? That is a huge point right there. Because, this is the thing. Yes, obviously expectations for the St. Louis Cardinals are always going to be higher than the majority of teams in baseball. It's just because of the Cardinals, who they are. and the history about them. But you still need to be realistic, and realistically, like, the Cardinals were not a super team. Right. They were not even a contending team. I hate to say it, but even the Cardinals have to rebuild at some point. You have to take a mixture of veterans alongside a lot of the young guys you've been developing over the years, which was a big focal point of this year. Bring up a lot of the guys you've been working on over the years, see how they do. Some so far have been very successful. I think Mason Wynn, perfect example of that. Others, obviously the jury's still out on Jordan Walker, and then you get small samples.
No, the jury is not out on Jordan Walker. Jordan Walker sucks. Jordan Walker will never, ever – listen, he is the one player. He is the one player in this franchise. Trade him. Do him the service. Jordan Walker, and I'm sorry for cutting you off, but Jordan
– you're good. I like it. I'll take it.
Jordan Walker will never, ever, ever have success as a member of the St. Louis Cardinals organization. He might get traded to whoever and go be a perennial 40-homer guy. And you know what? Good for him. But as long as he is wearing the birds on the bat, he will forever be absolutely awful. They botched his development. Get him off the team. And it's nothing against Jordan Walker personally. He will never have success as a member of the St. Louis Cardinals.
I was about to say, is that more of a Walker problem, or is that more of just the Cardinals completely just crapping the bed on his whole development here? Because that's really what they did.
Yeah, it was horrible. It was absolutely horrible. I mean, he was mashing, and then they told him, lift the ball more. You know what? Here's the problem. Here's the problem with lifting the ball more. What happens if you hit a ball in the air and it doesn't go over the fence?
It's going to get caught. 9 times out of 10.
It's an out.
Yeah.
If it doesn't go over the fence. So that's so stupid. It's the
they told him to change the one thing that you're not supposed to change when you get to the big leagues, and that's your swing.
Exactly.
The one thing you're not supposed to change when you get to the big leagues is your swing. And they told him change it. And that just throws everything off. Because your swing, and I've said this, I feel like I've said this on so many episodes, and it's fine because I love it. But your swing is what got you there.
Yep.
That's what it is, or your glove. But yeah, your swing is what got you there in the position of Jordan Walker. And I still hold out hope. I will still hold out hope for Jordan Walker. But sweet baby, loving mother of mercy, something's got to be done. Because Jordan Walker is still young. He has a lot of raw talent, and he showcased that. But we're also at a point where, the Cardinals still have a great farm system of other talented guys. Look, JJ, we are 3 years removed from Jordan Walker's debut, and are about to come up on 3 years removed. We're already talking JJ Weatherholt next year.
Right.
Like, you went from talking about the next big thing onto going to the next big thing.
Right.
And hoping that he wasn't what the last next big thing, quotation marks, was supposed to be, or is. And to Scott's point, yeah, you're bringing out a bunch of guys that we're not going to take you to a World Series. Like, this team had I'm almost partially, and this is going to sound weird, I'm actually bummed we even were in contention as long as we were, because it got your hopes up, man. It got all of our hopes up too much that, maybe we would squeak in and find a way to pick up some October magic. But no, of course, the Cardinals botched that up. They just were terrible against the Giants, and then they got swept by the Cubs to end the season. Yep. And now comes the next part of our whole thing that Bloom has been talking about with becoming the new president of baseball operations, and that's the whole thing with the payroll. They don't know, the DeWitts, Bloom, the whole organization does not know what the payroll is going to look like across Major League Baseball next year. But here's the thing. When you talk about cutting payroll, Bloom made something perfectly clear that contradicts what 95% of us said before yesterday, that one way or another, Nolan Arenado would not be a Cardinal next year. Well, Bloom made it clear, perfectly clear yesterday. He said, look, we will try and trade him. If no trade partner works, we will be welcoming him back with open arms. So here's the thing. I personally don't feel comfortable with it. Listen to the whole thought though, because Nolan Arenado is great and everything, but I don't feel comfortable trotting Nolan Arenado at this point out for 140 games a year to third base. When you got Weatherholt, when you still got Donovan, when you still got a Mason Wynn, when you still got a lot of these guys that are coming together and can form, to me, the new veteran leader of this team is Contreras. I know Arenado is supposed to be the locker room leader and the main guy. That's what they wanted him in 4 years ago. I'm telling you right now, Contreras had a sit-down meeting with Bloom. He told him, I want to be here for the long haul. And I love it. I love hearing that from Wilson Contreras. They did I think one of the best decisions the Cardinals made this year was moving him to first, because it opened up the opportunities for a lot of other guys to be either a DH or a catcher. So I don't know, where do we go with this Nolan Arenado thing? Because I don't like it. I'm really hesitant on the idea of him coming back. But I also know the money has a big play too. There's a lot of money that would have to be eaten up by the Cardinals, because it's not like he's on an expiring contract,
Yeah, I think the thing about Arenado that concerns me, obviously, is his age and the steep decline that we saw. It's not, it wasn't a slow decline; it was a steep decline. Here's the deal: I love Nolan Arenado. I really do, and I'm not quite as impassioned about as I am about Jordan Walker. But I will say that essentially, you can't release him because you don't want to eat the contract. Oh man, I don't know. I said last week that I thought that or 2 weeks ago, I'm sorry, when I was on here last, that I thought that Arenado still had something left in the tank. I thought he had another good year, maybe even two, just being 34 years old in him. But I didn't think it was going to be in St. Louis. I'm going to be honest. What Bloom said to me, what that tells me is I don't know that he's going to be traded. And I think before yesterday, when the press conference took place, I think everybody was like, yeah, this guy is gone for sure. I don't think so. I don't think so now. I don't think it is a for sure thing. I think if they can't trade him to Los Angeles, he's not going to be traded. So, I think that if they bring him back, they're going to bring him back as their starting third baseman. And hopefully he performs. I don't want to sit here and tell you that I don't think he's of good use, because I do. I mean, however you feel about his season as a whole, the last week he looked like the old Nolan Arenado, did he not? The last week of the season.
Last week he definitely did. I will say that the last week of the season, Arenado did look really good.
So maybe Jeremy, maybe he found something. Maybe he found something on the IL. Maybe he found something while he was on the IL. And I hope that he did. If they're going to bring him back, which it kind of looks like they might do so, hopefully he found something. So what is the football world in shambles about? What do we miss?
I know. So Andrew Henson, our dear friend, my dear friend, who actually co-hosted with me last week. I know exactly what he's talking about. Probably a lot of the notable injuries that happened that we're going to be talking about later on in the show. Would have definitely brought him up right away, but I tell you, it's so much is going on with Bloom and everything with becoming the new. And I love this. I love the quote he says where we are not where we want to be. Because, and you may say, well, duh, but the thing of it is, it's not always easy for certain executives to accept accountability and to acknowledge struggles. They'll be like, oh, well, we just take a look and see where we're at. No, I think we're okay. Just hit a rough patch. No, they know that the Cardinals are not what the St. Louis Cardinals are. And Babs over here tuning in saying, I really expected Bloom to walk in like Jey Uso, but we got DUI Jimmy.
Oh D-Dub Dan. Do you remember when Danny Mac got those like 2 DWIs and everybody was calling him D-Dub Dan? Like that's what that comment reminded me of.
Oh my goodness gracious. The thing of it is just, it's like, okay, here's the thing about John Mozeliak. We cannot forget the accomplishments that he had with the Cardinals. He oversaw the World Series team in 2011, 10 postseason appearances, a franchise record, 15 straight winning seasons. And a lot of the guys in the farm system are because of his, a lot of his judgment. So there is a lot to be, and our dear friend, the Duke of Slips, big shout out there, associated, a big longtime fan. And of course, be sure to check out, I'll have to plug their show as well when it comes to, sorry right there, I got the Fan First Sports Network. They are a big time poolside Pat, of course, been on their show before. He's been here and definitely talk a lot about sports betting and a lot of the latest hits going on around the world of sports. So be sure to check them out as well. Continuing on now about John Mozeliak. The thing of it is I think his accomplishments became his downfall because you expected that. You expected all that. So when it didn't happen, well, look where we're at. So now Bloom takes over. They nailed last year's draft. And I know I talked to a lot of people. Bloom had some, what's the word? Mozeliak was the main person. But Bloom did have some sort of association with the draft, some role. And it was great, though. They nailed it. Liam Doyle, I think, is going to be a huge, massive boost to this team when the time comes to the big leagues. I think the biggest thing Bloom is looking at right now is your expensive guys and what do you do with them? And that starts with, the guys with the no trade clauses. That gives you 4. Arenado, well, they already said what they're going to do. They're going to try to trade him. Maybe he comes back. Maybe he doesn't. Contreras has already said he wants to stay. He wants to be a part of this. That's 2. Then you got Miles Michaelis and Sonny Gray. I'm going to tell you the truth right now. I don't want to see Miles Michaelis on that mound for the Cardinals next season after this.
Miles is also an expiring contract, though, right?
Yes, he is an expiring contract. That is true, I guess. I mean, there's a lot to worry. Sonny Gray's the main one, though.
Yeah.
But yes, Michaelis. I know that, Michaelis was definitely somebody that we're trying to talk about heading into this past offseason. But now that he is on the expiring contract, it's a little different. But Gray, what's crazy is, it may not seem like it, but Sonny Gray actually had a pretty good season. I was really impressed. You take a look at how he did. He had the 3rd most wins at home of any starting pitcher with 14. With 12. That was my fault. But he went 14-8 with a 4.28 ERA. So take into account, I mean, that means 10 no decisions. He pitched 201 strikeouts and pitched 180 innings. Honestly, he did his job. He did his job and did pretty well. So here's my question to you. Where does Sonny Gray go? Or does he go?
I think that Sonny, back at the beginning of last year, I think they promised Sonny a lot that they didn't come through on, to tell you the truth. I don't think it's going to be very hard to get Sonny Gray to waive his no trade clause. I think the harder part is actually going to be getting another team to take a fair amount of the contract that remains. That's going to be way harder than getting him to agree to leave. He said it. He basically said it. If you're not trying to win, I'm at a stage of my career where I want to win. He doesn't want to be the ace. He shouldn't be the ace at this point. I think that you trade him. I think that you trade him wherever you can trade him to, and if you have to eat some money, eat some money. That's just my opinion. I don't know where that looks like. I think we'll probably see that come to fruition fairly quickly. I think that the dominoes are going to fall quickly. I really believe that with this Cardinals team. I think it's not going to take a real long time for things to start happening after the World Series concludes. Yeah, man.
No, I get it. And there is plenty of question marks as far as where they go from here. And here are, we take a look at Spot Track and a lot of the Cardinals free agents. I mean, funny thing is, the only one they signed this past offseason was Phil Matone. And he's probably not coming back. Or not Phil Matone, I'm sorry. He was traded to the Rangers. I'm thinking of someone else.
No, Phil Maton was their only free agent signing this past season.
Okay, then I thought I was thinking of someone else. I'm sorry. Because I know they traded him for Skylar Hales and Mason Molina and then the bonus pool money internationally. But I take a look at the Cardinals in general. It's the young players you got that overall you take into account what you're going to build your infield. You have a surplus of outfielders. I know Katie Wu said that she expects, there were 4 Cardinal players that she expected to be 2 of them to be gone. And she said, if I remember correctly, that we had Alec Burleson, we had
Alec Burleson, Brendan Donovan, Nolan Gorman,
Raj Newbar, and Nolan Gorman. Yes. I think Burleson stays, although I think he has the most trade value next to Donovan. I think Newbar goes.
Yeah, I do too.
I think Donovan stays. And I think Gorman stays for the bench. Gorman's not going to be an everyday. No, Gorman, the only guy to me that's going to be gone is going to be Lars Nootbaar. Gorman's not an everyday guy, but he's a good guy to come off the bench. Brendan Donovan, obviously, a Gold Glove Award winner, a great all-around versatile player. Alec Burleson was probably the hottest Cardinal hitter last year, which is kind of interesting to say because I don't think anybody had that on their bingo card. But, I mean, he literally hit 18 home runs, hit 290, which was the highest average on the Cardinals among qualified batters. He got 69 RBIs, 18 home runs. And if you believe in the OPS, It was 8.801, which is pretty damn good. And you take into account how look at Brendan Donovan. I mean, Brendan Donovan himself also. A lot of these guys also have dealt with injuries, but I look at Donovan. Donovan had 10 home runs, went 287, 50 RBIs, an OPS of 775. Once again, another really solid guy that I think the Cardinals have no intention of wanting to part with. So to me, Lars Nootbaar might just be the odd man out.
Yeah, I think Nootbaar won't. I don't think Nootbaar will be with this team next season. I just don't. And I do believe that all three of the others do stay. I think there are more trades made, though. And I've kind of got a prediction of a guy that I think might come back that was actually dealt away at the deadline. And
really,
yeah, I think that I think the Cardinals are going to bring Ryan Helsley back. And I think they should. Not only do I think they will, I think they should.
Yeah, I get that, because here's the thing. We take into account how with the Mets, it was rough because you know what? We'll do this. In 2025 with the Cardinals, Ryan Helsley went 3-1 with 21 saves and a 3.0 ERA. With the Mets, when he got traded, ever since he had gotten traded, keep in mind, the Mets missed the playoffs. They traded for Helsley because they felt he was the key piece they needed for a playoff run. So not only do you not Helsley, I got to say this. He went 0-3 with no saves because he's not the closer, and he had a 7.20 ERA. So not only did he not do the job that he was traded for, the crowd, like the Mets fans and everybody, absolutely gave him hell. The organization is hitting themselves in the head over the move, and the Mets missed the playoffs. So everything completely backfired. And look, I get it. You can say, oh, well, the Cardinals didn't either. Yeah, but the Cardinals didn't trade Ryan Helsley so they could make the playoffs.
Right.
They traded Ryan Helsley to get the contract off, and so they can get a good return, because Ryan Helsley was still one of the best closers in baseball at the time of being traded.
Right.
And to me, if you bring him back, he's still going to be a great closer.
That's one thing I want to say about Ryan Helsley. Ryan Helsley was not closing in New York. He was pitching. He was pitching in a situation that he had not pitched in a long time, if ever. Listen, I'm telling you, and personally, I don't think Ryan Helsley wanted to be traded. I think Ryan Helsley.
Oh no, not at all.
I think he's going to be back. I think he's going to be back with those birds on the bat, and I think he's going to come back and do well.
Absolutely. You know what? I can agree to that. I really can, because, yeah, I think the biggest misconception of the whole trade was that Helsley was going to become their new closer. No, Edwin Diaz has been, was, and will be their closer on the Mets. Helsley was going to be, oh, wow. You know what? I liken the Helsley-Diaz punch, what they were supposed to be, to when Carlos Martinez and Trevor Rosenthal, that punch right there. You had the heater from Martinez, and then you had Rosenthal in to close it out. That's what they were hoping. It didn't work out that way. And once again, the Mets are just kicking themselves in the backside because of it.
Yeah,
and now the Cardinals can get him back on a better deal for less money. So, no, you're absolutely right. I can totally see the Cardinals wanting to bring back Helsley. And the biggest part of that, like you said, he didn't want to be traded, but he understood that it was going to happen. There's a difference. He knew it was going to happen, but he didn't want to. It really, I think, also just broke his heart like that, because he never got anything but positives from out here in St. Louis. So, yeah. And then I do take a look at, with the whole thing with Bloom, and it's funny because you take a look at the Boston Red Sox. Bloom was there for 4 years. And it wasn't exactly great. They went 267, 262, and they traded away Mookie Betts and Xander Bogaerts. That obviously people have hated since then. But you know what? This is the thing. What do the Cardinals like doing? They like contending with a smaller budget. What is the Boston Red Sox? Don't let the fact that they're Boston fool you now. They're not big spenders like the Yankees and the Dodgers. You know? Like, they will definitely, if they have to kind of penny pinch or something, they will.
Right.
And that was one thing that, was a benefit of having Bloom, and, just his ability to be able to handle those types of financial things. So, yeah. The way I look at it is that he is still, you can see the mark that's on the Red Sox, and the Red Sox are in the playoffs right now. And I know we're about to talk about the MLB wildcard series that are going on right now. In fact, right now the Red Sox are up. Well, they're tied 3-3, but they're up 1-0 in the series against the Yankees in the wild card. So, trust the process is what I can say. It might be a long one, but I think we have the right pieces in our farm system. I think we do got some really good veteran leaders like Donovan and Contreras, and already established young guys like Burleson and Mason Wynn. And you know what? I'm going to tell you one more guy that I think is going to be a huge part of the Cardinals for years to come. He's not even a pitcher. It's Ivan Herrera.
Yeah, I think he's tough.
Herrera is going to be – he was nominated to be on the All-MLB team this year. I think Herrera is going to be a very notable part of this team. I mean, he hit 284 this year, 19 home runs, 66 RBIs, 110 total hits. And keep in mind of how much time he missed due to injury.
Yeah, he a good chunk there at the beginning of the season.
Exactly. Now, right now, the way I see it, players like Burleson and Herrera are going to stay. Marmol has made that clear. Bloom keeping Marmol almost solidifies that Al Burleson and Ivan Herrera are going to stay with the Cardinals in the next season. Once again, Jordan Walker, Nootbaar, and Gorman were in a rotation basically and getting chances. None of them are locked in, and we already talked about it. Even though we think Gorman will stay, you think Walker will probably go. You think Nootbaar will probably go. We both think Nootbaar will go. But I definitely do take into account that, the Cardinals have started already to put in place some of the guys that are sticking around, whereas the question's up in the air and of course Mason Wynn. They should have shut him down sooner, though. This is the thing with Mason Wynn. Mason Wynn is going to me, he could be the face of a franchise. Okay. Now he hit 253, 9 home runs, 51 RBIs, and then they had to shut him down in August because of his injury, his leg injuries. But I think it was the right decision to shut him down because the Cardinals were not realistically going to compete. And if you want Mason Wynn to be the long-term on your team, just let the man heal.
Yeah, he's got to be healthy in the big picture.
I agree. There was no point of having to keep trotting him out there. So they did the right thing by having him, shut down for the rest of the season. And I think it paid off. I think in the sense that he's going to make a full recovery and everything's going to go fine. I'm more optimistic about this. Because with Bloom, I don't know. I feel like there's some new ideas coming in. It's not just being a Mozeliak clone. It is genuinely, hey, I came from somewhere else where we were successful still and was part of good decisions and made decisions that, have impact on the long-term success of a franchise. So I think the presser, his opening presser, was everything that it needed to be. Got a lot of usual things out of the way. One last thing I want to touch on with this whole thing with Bloom and the DeWitts and everything. When the DeWitts talked about the attendance numbers, and they basically are saying they hear the fans. All right, Boston, do you think the DeWitts truly hear us?
I think I don't think they have a choice but to hear the fans. I think whether or not you can hear the fans and not give a crap about the fans in the same breath.
Yeah, that's true.
And the Cardinals have to, or not the Cardinals, the DeWitts have to realize that the Cardinals fans, they just want to win. Like I don't think that. I think Cardinals fans know that they're not going to go out and acquire Aaron Judge or Shohei Ohtani or guys like that. Like I think they understand that, right?
It's fun.
It would be fun, but there's no confusion there. But I think that, they just want to win. The Cardinals have lost now 3 years in a row, and Cardinals fans are tired of it. I know for myself, I checked out at the trade deadline, to tell you the truth. Whenever the notification went across my phone that Ryan Helsley had been dealt to the Mets, that was it. I didn't care anymore. I was done. I was done because to me, that showed me that they were done. And I think that's how a lot of Cardinal fans are right now. They are of the mindset of, okay, if you're not going to put out the effort to put a winner on the field, I'm not going to spend my hard-earned money that I worked for to go to the ballpark, and I'm not going to take the 2 to 3 hours out of my day to watch it on TV, to watch crap on TV, because call it what it is, it's crap. It's not good baseball. It's not entertaining baseball. And we're trying – I'm going to tell you something. This idea that these Cardinal fans that were trying to turning turds into cookies crap whenever Jimmy Crooks and all these guys got called up and, oh, yay, we're going to let the young kids play. No, we don't give a crap about the young kids if the young kids suck. If you're 25 years old when you're not in the major leagues, there's a reason for it. I don't get that mindset. I don't get that mindset. The Cardinals fans they demand success. They demand excellence. And the front office showed them time and time again in the last 10 years of John Mozeliak's tenure that they didn't give a crap about it. That's why the last good season was in 2019 when they went to the NLCS. And it's post-COVID Cardinals baseball has been atrocious, whether you choose to admit that or not. Outside of the fun Albert Pujols storyline in 2022, thank God John Mozeliak is gone. And I hope that whenever Bill DeWitt Jr. and Bill DeWitt III say, we hear the Cardinal fans, I hope that they're actually listening and not just hearing, and they're willing to change some things. Because I'll tell you what, if we get to May or June next year and they're 10 games under 500, well, I don't know. I might go paint the grass or something outside more valuable with my time, because I'm not waiting. I'm not waiting until the end of July again. I can tell you that.
Yeah, it is the whole thing. Look, I like the idea of calling the young guys up to showcase what they can do. But you are right in the sense that, yes, if they're not good, then what's the point? Be like,
Jeremy, here's the deal, and this is what I'm trying to get across to you and anybody that might be watching. If there is a 25-year-old baseball player at this point, the way the game is played right now, and he is not in the major leagues, there's a reason.
I mean, we waited until Jeremy Hazelbaker was 28 and he came up, so we'll take what we can get, right?
No, I think that's the thing. I think that's the thing. Cardinals fans are tired of taking what they can get. I think that's just the truth.
I think it's got – yeah, I mean, that was also, years ago. I think the last great season was 2022 because, yes, the whole thing with Molina retiring, Pujols, and the team won over 90 games, made the wild card. And I personally think if they didn't burn out Helsley at the end of that season, they would have been a big role. But you also said at the top of the show, the MVP that year didn't even know how to hit in the playoffs. I think this is my biggest issue. My last thing of all this Cardinals related before we get into our quick MLB playoff talk and then little NFL, and then we'll call it. This is my thing. If you are the St. Louis Cardinals, and you have Nolan Arenado go to a different team next year, if you trade away Nolan Arenado, you will have to live with the fact that you had about 6 or 7 years of Paul Goldschmidt, Nolan Arenado, and some of those years simultaneous, and won 0 playoff games.
Right.
Now, if that is not the biggest kick in the nuts that you could get as an organization dedicated on winning, predicated on winning, known for it, with the second most pennants or the third most pennants, second most World Series titles, all that good stuff. And you can't even win with 2 future Hall of Famers. Yeah, that you really have to ask yourself. And look, I know what you're going to say. It takes more than 2 guys. Yeah. Well, how about the year when you literally had 4 Hall of Famers on the team? Molino and Pujols were not bad in 2022. Okay, right. Pujols was an all-star, and was in the home run derby. And I want to say this, and I really want to put this up. For Albert Pujols in 2022, he played in 109 games. In 109 games, he hit 270 with 68 RBIs. And, sorry, give me 1 second. He hit 24 home runs.
Yep.
That's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest. That's pretty good for that limited time and a guy in his 40s. So, With all that said, folks, we are going to turn our attention now on
real quick on that run.
All right, go for it.
I will live and die by the statement.
Oh boy.
If they pull Ryan Helsley out of that game 1 pitch earlier, the Cardinals win that series. 1 pitch. 1 pitch. If they don't let him face Gene Segura and they pull him out of the game, the Cardinals win that series.
I can agree. I do.
And Albert Pujols was great in 2022. He was more than especially that second half. When you come up, I was at a lot of games in 2022. I think I went to ironically, and I'm not even joking you, I think I went to 22 games in 2022. And most of them were in the second half of the season. In fact, all but 2 of them were in the second half of the season. And when Albert Pujols come to the plate, it didn't matter if he was starting or if it was a pinch hit. You felt like, and it felt just like it did in 2011. It felt like when Albert Pujols come to the plate, he was going to hit a home run every single time.
Yeah, I was there when he hit. My friend and I were there when he hit number 690, and it was the grand slam. It was the pinch hit grand slam. I remember that one very well, and I was there I was honored to be there for their last home game for Molina, Wayne Ryan Pujols together, and they walked off the field and everything. They had the big retirement ceremony. So yeah. But moving along now, folks, this is for those of you who are just tuning in. Man, where have you been the last 50 minutes? This is Roundabout Sports with AB and The Maestro. I'm the Maestro Jeremy Carp alongside my friend AB Austin Bradley. And we just went all in depth on Chaim Bloom, the St. Louis Cardinals, everything going forward. And now we're going to go to taking a look, at the MLB wild card playoffs right now. Now, the Detroit Tigers and Cleveland Guardians will be playing tomorrow in Game 3. Let's go, Guardians. Right now, the Boston Red Sox are tied still 3-3 with the New York Yankees, but the Red Sox are up 1-0 in the series. Keep in mind, every series is a best of 3. Right now, we take into account that. Give me 1 second. So the Cubs and Padres are also going to a Game 3. So yeah, what are we thinking about these wild card games so far? Like, I know, and this is the first year of the third wild card team added. So we have more, obviously, I guess you could say content, whatever you want to call it. But right now, and then also let's not forget, we do have the Reds and the Dodgers, and the Dodgers play tonight against the Reds, and they're up 1-0 in the series as well. I'm going to say this because nobody else will say it, but I'm going to say it. And no, I don't remember if it's ever happened, but it hasn't happened, obviously, since probably before 1948. But damn it, AB, I want a Cleveland Guardians, Cincinnati Reds World Series. I want an ALCS. And if we can't get the Mariners in the World Series, at least give me the Guardians. I'll say that. But this has to be the year of the small market. I'm sick of the Yankees. I'm sick of the Dodgers. I'm sick of the Red Sox. I want these small markets, which is funny when you call cities like Seattle and Cleveland and Cincinnati, which are big cities,
right?
Small markets. But there's a difference between a big city and a city, and a big city with a small market for baseball. Right. And that's where we're at right now. And I want these small market teams to really take it to the juggernauts, quote unquote, and especially for the Reds taking on the defending World Series champions. I want this to really be a fun playoff series. And look, I want San Diego to beat Chicago. I mean, not just because, Chicago, it's the Cubs, screw them, but because San Diego, it's literally their only sports team left, AB. They lost every other pro sports team. All they got's the Padres. I'm
just going to tell you about the Reds and the Dodgers, and I don't mean this with any disrespect in mind, but I'm afraid that you can crap in one hand and wish in the other and see which one fills up first, because the Dodgers completely overmatched the Cincinnati Reds.
I know. That was a dream, damn it.
The last night I was watching that game, and it's like 2 pitches in, and the Reds ace gives up a leadoff just nuclear bomb to Ohtani, and it just kind of, Teoscar Hernandez hit 2 homers. Ohtani hit another homer later in the game. That series is over tonight. It's the Reds. Listen, and here's the thing. I actually want the Reds to win. I want the Reds to have success. I like their young core. They're just not ready. They're just not ready. And it would be the same thing if it was the Cardinals and the Dodgers. And the Cardinals actually won the season series against the Dodgers, but I hate to say
everybody else had the issue with.
I hate to say it, they're just not ready. And now, listen, we might get a Guardians Reds World Series matchup in 2 or 3 years, but you're not getting one this year. And I'm going to say about I will comment on the Tigers and the Guardians series, man. what Flaherty are we going to get tomorrow?
Okay. Well,
hasn't been the question all season, though. What Jack Flaherty's going to show up to the ballpark?
I mean, do you want to know the one I want to see or the one I think we're going to see? I mean, I want to see the one that's going to cost the Tigers the whole thing but keep in mind, he went 8-15 this year and had a near 5 ERA. So he has not had that good of a season.
So, Mike, what's up with all the anti-Tigers propaganda you're spreading right here?
You know what? This is why I'm going to tell you. It has not, you know what? It doesn't even have anything to do with the Tigers. Although, when Hollywood James Knox was co-hosting this show with me, I have to find it. We had a running gag. There was a demonic tiger. We were looking at old retro baseball logos, and you found the old Tigers logo. And somebody made a demonic one, and I'm sure one day I'm going to find it, especially in spooky season, and rear its ugly head back in here. But point being, it's not even because anything bad against the Tigers. If the Tigers won, okay, Detroit, city of second chances. But get this. They had a 15-game division lead in July.
And they lost it.
To Cleveland. So why wouldn't I want to just see the final dagger in that? I'm sorry. That's a little sick, but let's face it. If you're Cleveland, you don't just win the division just to lose to that same team in the wild card. You literally will go all the way just to make sure, hey, we're going to not only knock you out of the division, like to where you have to go to the wild card, we're going to knock you out so you don't even win the wild card. You're out of the playoffs. That's why. And plus, I'm sorry. We were talking with Babs about this earlier, about teams that we want to see win the World Series if, it's not the Cardinals. Because obviously we want the Cardinals to win. And if they could win all the time, that would be fan-freaking-tastic. But 2016's Cubs Indians at the time Indians World Series was probably, to me, one of the greatest World Series I ever watched.
So fun.
That obviously, even though the Cubs won, I couldn't have been mad because it was such a phenomenal series. But it made me say to myself, because Cleveland hasn't won the series since 48, So I'm trying to see that end, Why not? Why not them? I also would like to see the Mariners win. Because guess what? The Mariners are the only team that hasn't been in the World Series, let alone won one.
Right.
So in some of the most fun baseball moments of the past 25 years have taken, or 30 years, not 25, 30 years have taken place in Seattle. And that is crazy to think about. But you got Edgar Martinez's game-winning hit, everything with Ken Griffey Jr., everything with Ichiro, Felix Hernandez, King Felix's perfect game. I mean, there's a lot of great Seattle Mariners memories. It's just there's a lot of crap that's covered that up.
Right.
But they finally have a competitive team. And you want to know the best part about all this? The absolute best part? They knocked out the Astros.
They did beat the Astros.
Astros didn't make the playoffs, so I will take it. Whoop, whoop.
I know you were talking about the 2016 World Series and the Indians that are now the Guardians. What's so wild to me, I will never forget that line drive homer by Rajai Davis in like the 7th inning.
Yeah, no, that was the bottom of the 8th. Oh my God.
And I mean, it was just, that was a crazy game. Where I'm at, there's a lot of Cubs fans. Like the part of Missouri that I'm in, there's quite a few Cubs fans. And I thought they were going to burn the city down. I really did. But
when Davis hit that home run, oh my gosh.
I really, I'm with you. I would like to see the Mariners win it. I think Cal Raleigh is the AL MVP. I think that would just solidify that for me. I know people are either going to really strongly agree or disagree with me there. But I I really like Cal Raleigh. I don't know. It's going to be really fun. I think that I'd like to see the Yankees win tonight and the Reds win tonight, and then we get 4 game threes tomorrow. That'd be a lot of fun. But I mean, I guess we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Well, we're going to wrap it up. First, I want to say, I mean, granted, it's not till, I mean, it starts at sunset and it's in tomorrow, but happy early Yom Kippur, which is in the Jewish faith known as the Day of Atonement, the Day of Forgiveness, the final day of the High Holy Days, which is like the commemoration of the Jewish New Year and everything that has gone on. So to all my Jewish family and friends out there, Lashana Tova. And, you know, we here at Roundabout Sports always wish good blessings and great health and everything to everybody of all faith, beliefs, everything. And, you know, we're all about sports, fun, a little bit of craziness here and there. And AB and I both are ADHD maniacs with high octane sports fun. So
I don't know about that, but or at least for me anyway. I love sports. I don't know about ADHD, but I do love sports.
I am. I'll say that. I'm the ADHD one.
Also, go Vikings this Sunday.
Oh, geez. Oh, you really went there.
Hopefully they do what the Green Bay Packers could not do a couple weeks ago, and beat the Browns. And I won't go any further than that. But, but yeah,
Dogtown Nation, baby.
That should be fun.
That should be. It'll take place in London, so you already know that neither of us will be there because screw that. I am not traveling like that.
Dublin, Ireland at like 9 a.m.
Yes. Good old 9 a.m. Oh, jeez. Well, folks, once again, like I said, also, you can find Roundabout Sports on Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Pocket Cast, Amazon Music, and all other streaming platforms. You can follow us on Facebook, X, otherwise known as Twitter for all you non-Elon lovers, and on the official Interstate 70 Sports Media YouTube channel. On the YouTube channel and on all of our socials, you will find a lot of the amazing shows, such as The Main Event with Babs and AB. You will find Roundabout Sports, Issues with Wrestling, the Blues Fan Forum podcast, the Redbird Rundown podcast, Issues with Wrestling, I think I've already said, the Elite Sports Show and Daily Roundup. I mean, there's so much. The Dalen Show, we got a lot that we are working to put together, but it is coming together. And as always, we end the show by putting up the NAMI helpline. And for that, you dial 1-800-950-NAMI. That's 1-800-950-NAMI. The National Alliance on Mental Illness is the nation's largest grassroots mental health organization dedicated for helping people affected by mental illness, as well as the families of those involved. And we also put up the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. And for that, you dial 988. The number is open 24/7, 365, 366 on leap years. Understand that you're never alone in this world. There is always somebody out there who loves you, who cares about you, who wants nothing but the best for you. We all go through struggles and trials and tribulations on a daily basis. That doesn't mean they have to be faced alone. And your feelings are always valid, and you always matter. You're just a phone call, text message, an appointment away from what could be that life-saving treatment and moment for you. And you could also be the listening ears and watchful eyes for someone else in need as well. I once again want to thank my dear friend AB, Austin Bradley, for just being the amazing guy that he is and being a part of something special. And I want to thank you all so much for tuning in, and I look forward to next week's episode of Roundabout Sports. But until then, always remember that life is a book full of empty pages just waiting to be written in. Make your lives worth reading. Good night, everybody.